Okay, so now your grass is up and growing. It looks good. You should be proud. Give yourself a pat on the back, but don't get too cocky just yet, because there are a number of things you need to consider if you want your grass to continue growing healthy and growing strong.
Now it's time to change your watering schedule. Rather than watering every day, you want to switch to a once or twice a week schedule. Deep soaking each time you water so that moisture percolates into the soil to a depth of 4 to 6 inches.
If you water frequently but shallowly, grass roots will hover in that shallow moisture zone. But if you deep soak each time you water, delivering as much as an inch of water each time, grass roots will reach way down into the soil, and that's precisely what you want.
To determine how long it takes to deliver an inch of water, place plastic cups here and there within the area you're watering and see how long it takes to fill the cups with an inch of water. Yeah, it's pretty low tech, but it works like a champ.
If you didn't fertilize right after you sowed your seed or a few days thereafter, then now's the time to go ahead and complete that task. And I suggest you fertilize in the same way that you sowed your seed. That is, working in one direction first, then at right angles to your original path to ensure even coverage and avoid streaking. Now it's time to talk mowing. And let me tell you, folks, I've seen lots and lots of new or newly reseeded lawns suffer as a result of poor mowing practices, and in some cases, outright fail as a result. So, here are the things you need to keep in mind.
Don't wait until it's too late to mow. Go ahead and admire it. Walk barefoot on it. Brag about it to your neighbors. But once the grass is roughly 1/3 taller than the desired height, begin mowing.
If you let the grass grow taller than that before the first cutting, then you risk stressing the grass beyond the point of recovery. And trust me, I've seen it happen dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
And each time you mow thereafter, try to remove no more than 1/3 of the grass, again to minimize stress. But just how tall or how short should you mow?
The ideal grass height depends upon the type of grass you're growing. And frankly, experts disagree as to what's the best height for a given grass. But generally speaking, warm season grasses such as Bermuda, Zoysia, St. Augustine, and Centipede can be cut relatively short, as in 1.5 to 2 inches, although personally I prefer to cut them at about 2.5 inches. Cool season grasses, fescue, rye, and bluegrass can be cut a good deal taller, as in 3 inches, even more. But again, I like to cut my grass a little taller than a lot of folks recommend, and here's why. In most cases, the depth of the root is equal to the height of the blade. So a taller blade means a deeper root means a healthier turf.
Speaking of mowing, I strongly recommend that you use a mulching mower, because the finely shredded clippings they leave behind do indeed act as mulch, which helps keep the soil moist between waterings, and because they break down into nutrients the grass roots can absorb.
You may be wondering why up to this point I haven't said anything about weed control. After all, it's a hot topic. Well, the answer is I'm saving that for a future video. In the meantime, however, remember that your best defense against weeds is a vigorously growing turf, one that starts with Pennington seed.